Hello, friends. Come in, come in, sit down, take a breath. My name is Miss Carol. I am a former career teacher, now here with you, sharing and guiding you through a noisy world, giving you techniques and tips of healing and growth so that you can cultivate more meaningful connections. And today is very pivotal because today I'm going to reveal 5 secrets for speaking with conviction and becoming a more persuasive communicator. And this is something that is very near and dear to me, like all my videos, and I will explain why in a couple minutes. But did you know that somewhere in the range of 75% of us have some kind of social anxiety of public speaking? We fear public speaking more than we fear death, according to some sources, which is really crazy to me. Now more than ever, we are judged by the little mistakes that we make. We have such a microscope on us. And I really feel like that has crippled our ability to communicate effectively. And ever since COVID, we have become much more intentional with where we choose to put our time and energy. Our attention spans have gotten a lot shorter. And because of that, we all really need to feel the value of whatever we are absorbing very quickly. If we can't determine the value of it fairly quickly, it's not going to keep our attention. And as I said, this is very near and dear to me because I am a first generation immigrant, meaning my mother was not born here in this country. She is from a very small island off the coast of Venezuela. She was born there. She lived there until she was 10 or 11. Her parents, my grandparents, came and immigrated to this country in the 60s. And because she came to this country at a very tumultuous time, she could not speak the language. There was a lot of social and political chaos going on in the city. It was very important to her to emphasize to us, her children, the power of communicating. And she was a college professor for many years, for 25 years or so. And one of the things that she taught was public speaking. So I have very vivid memories of my mom, teaching her classes to college students, me sitting in the back of the class and observing her and just being so enthralled with the, power that came from speaking in front of a large group. And she would insist that when we were kids, we order our food from whomever was taking our order. We were, for discipline, sometimes we were forced to, or at least I was forced to copy the dictionary. That was part of some of my punishment. And so it was really kind of drilled into me at a very young age, the importance of communication. And I was much more able to practice it because I was in the service industry for such a long time. So I was a server, I was a bartender, I was a manager at one point, I worked in retail. And so it really did hone in my communication skills. So all of these things kind of built on one another. So the first secret is anytime you feel inferior or superior to someone else, that is your ego. Because I will give you the secret. You are special, but there is nothing special about you. Now, let that sink in a little bit. You're special, but there is nothing special about you, meaning we are all human beings. We all have different families that we're from, environments we were raised in, but we all have the same anatomical makeup. And the more people that you are exposed to from all over the world, the more you do realize that we all kind of desire the same thing. We all want to be happy. We all want to feel fulfilled. We all want to have meaning and purpose in our lives. So anytime you feel like you are either above someone or below someone, that is your ego. And a simple question you can ask yourself if you are unable to differentiate the two is, do I desire to live from a place of fear, or do I desire to live from a place of love? We are not, in my opinion, we are not designed to worship each other. This whole culture of celebrity is very paradoxical, and it really does take our focus away from ourselves. There is no reason why anyone should know the minute details of whatever celebrity when you have not done the work excavating and figuring out what your emotional habits are and what your emotional triggers are. There is a disconnect there. You should not know something more about somebody else than you know about yourself. So, secret number one, you are no better or no worse than anybody else. We are all the same. Secret number two is focus. Mel Robbins is a extremely popular podcaster right now, and the number one video on her YouTube channel, I think it has like over 5 million views, and I'll link it in the description. It's about turning fear and anxiety and calming those things. So she highlighted 3 things. She said it's the 5-second rule. So take 5 seconds to count down while deep breathing. Create an anchor thought, meaning if you are in front of a group and you are about to give a talk, maybe not even a group, maybe it's just 1 or 2 of you, maybe it's just 5 of you. What is your intention behind what you are attempting to communicate? What is the intention behind it? And anchor your thought in that. And then the most fascinating thing, in my opinion, is how did she call it? The reframing of the thought. She said that the only difference between fear and excitement is the activity that we have in our brains. So instead of focusing on the nervousness or the anxiety that you are feeling in any particular moment, say to yourself, I am so excited to talk to you. I am so excited for this experience. I cannot wait to do this. The power of our minds. Never underestimate the power of our focus. It's all about what we choose to focus on. The third secret is confidence comes from competence. I really do think that the reason why a lot of us are filled with so much anxiety is because when we talk, we really don't have any idea what we're talking about. When you can speak to something, that means you are competent about it. Like this whole channel, I have done the work over a decade of reading and analyzing and self-reflection and practicing. I have done that so many times that I am competent in that, so I can speak to it with my own level of authority. If you do not have that competence, your confidence is not going to come from an authentic place. And I'm so happy that we are healing past this whole notion of fake it till you make it, because, what's going to happen is you might be able to fake it, and that might be able to get you in whatever room or whatever crowd you are attempting to be amongst. But as soon as you're in there, you're going to really be able to tell, okay, do I really have the groundedness? Am I really grounded in what the things that I am saying? Or am I just, are all of these things kind of just things that I've heard here or there? When I was teaching, there would be several times, and, don't get it twisted. It is a very intimidating thing standing in front of a classroom full of 10, 12, 13-year-old kids. That's a pretty intimidating endeavor. But there would be at least a few times a week where a student would ask me a question and I literally did not know the answer. And rather than attempt to give them an answer that that would not suffice, I would literally say to them, I can't speak on that right now. I'm not knowledgeable enough, but let me get back to you. It did two things. It made it possible that we didn't get stuck at that particular place in the class because we have a lot of things to cover. And it really did give them, hopefully, the confidence to say, you know what, I don't know everything. Just because I'm standing in front of the classroom does not mean that I, quote unquote, know everything. We have to be much more confident about the things that we don't know as we are confident about the things that we do know, right? So the fourth thing is the pause. Oh, we are so unpracticed at living in the silence, and it makes us feel so uncomfortable. I feel like that's where a lot of this Gen Z stare is coming from, is because it is like they are knowledgeable enough to know that the majority of adults around them are not being honest with them with the questions that they seek, because they can find the questions whenever they want. And when they are confronted with an adult who actually can talk to them spontaneously, they freeze because they are so accustomed to either not being valued, not being heard, basically being lied to. And it makes a lot of sense that generation would be so crippled under anxiety because they have so many adults around them who have habitually been dishonest with them for a very long time. Dishonest maybe consciously or unconsciously. So now, how do you expect them to respond? Silence is so imperative in our healing journey. We are not going to be able to grow. Nothing can grow unless it is given the space for itself to reflect. And however long that takes is just the amount of time that it takes. There is a lot of uncertainty in these secrets, in these principles. And the only difference between the quote unquote person who is special is they are practiced at certain things. That's it. Practice, practice, practice. You cannot expect to just think that you can be LeBron James and then tomorrow show up at the basketball court and imagine that you are going to play like him. You have to put in the work. There is no substitution for the work. The fifth secret is your posture. This communicates. This is a nonverbal communication that speaks volumes about who you believe you are, what you believe you bring to the table. Your posture is such a powerful tool at your disposal that you can work on today. And a lot of us have it backwards. We really do think that we can think our way out of anxiety. We can think our way out of our emotional and mental blocks. Unfortunately, it does not work that way. You have to take action. And the most straightforward action that you can take, which will begin to help you align yourself, align your consciousness, start to figure out what your core values are, is to work on your posture. Why? Because it does so many things at the same time. It allows you to be silent. It allows you to focus. It allows you to be comfortable. Stand comfortable in who you are. Posture is one of those things that you will always reap the benefits if you are actually applying it. Here's one thing that I used to practice many, many years ago. I don't really do it anymore because I don't feel called to do it. I would intentionally go out, and when I meet people, I'd ask if I could shake their hand. You can tell a lot from somebody with the type of handshake that they give you. It is very telling if somebody gives you a handshake and their hands are clammy, or there's no strength in their grip. Now, I'm not saying you guys need to arm wrestle, but show them that you are there. Shake someone's hand to communicate. I am here. I have value. I bring value to the table. We are not here to schlep these bodies around. Carry yourself as if you were meant to be, because you are and you were. And this is just a bonus secret, that no matter if you apply all of these principles or if you apply none of these principles, there are going to be people who just don't like you. That is just facts. Unfortunately, they might not like your hair color. They might not like the tone of your voice. They might not like your anything. They just might not like you. And that has to be okay. If you are not pissing at least a few people off, if you're not making at least a few people uncomfortable, you probably aren't living audaciously enough. That's just the truth. There are going to be people who you are not their cup of tea, and that's okay. That has to be okay. We live on a planet of 8 billion people. We're not supposed to get along with everybody. We're not supposed to, like everyone that we come in contact with. We can respect everyone. We can honor and have reverence for the humanity, but we don't have to say, ooh, the next time I have a dinner party, I'm going to invite X, Y, and Z because I know I don't like them, but I'm trying to force myself to like them. No. There are certain people that you're just not going to have that energetic symbiosis with, and that is okay. Speaking with conviction, carrying yourself with reverence, showing yourself respect, loving yourself, accepting yourself. It is a journey. And I have been in those predicaments where I was so crippled under my insecurity because I didn't want to come off as someone who was, anxious or nervous or any of those things. And, we're all going to make mistakes, and that is okay. But have the audacity to love yourself anyway, despite your flaws. Despite it all, because you are worthy and you are valuable. I will again link that Mel Robbins video in the description. If you feel called to watch this next video on the joy of being authentic, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye for now.